This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme here each and every Saturday night. Right here on truthfrequencyradio.com. Shout outs to my main man, my brother, Ra, who is just on. And don't forget, right up after me, Beyond the Veil. Then we got the Paranormal Portal, who's been rocking it. They've been killing it. And after them, we have Jimmy Jean into the Microcosm. Before we start the show, I'd like to give a shout out to Chris and Cherie. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. The more I think about that statement, the more and more and more it's true. Chris is funny. He sent me, we were texting on Skype. We're sending messages to each other. And he goes, current state of mind. And he sends me a track with some verses, with a verse on it. And I've been trying to finish my verses that I have to do with him since he's been gone. I haven't had time. And honestly, I haven't been feeling it, feeling the flow. Then the other night, it hits me like a ton of bricks. And Chris and I are just going back and forth. And boom, his verse goes out. I'm like, yeah, man, state of mind. Boom, my verse came out. I'm like, whoa. Always happens with him. They're an amazing team. They're amazing people. They put together an amazing place for us to come and gather. Name our own children, our own classes for everyone. Under one roof, we can come and we can talk about all perspectives and all the different ways. My hat's off to the both of you for doing something that I imagine I don't want to do it. Right? The pyramid thing. I'm watching your videos and I can't breathe. And I know, Chris, you're a big dude. And Cherie, you're a little girl, a little size lady. And you guys have more in you in one finger than most people have. I watched you go through the process of going into that pyramid. All the pyramids, all the temples. If I could define what a hero is to me, it's someone who will take their proper steps into the right direction to fulfill their purpose, what they feel in their heart they need to do, and nothing is going to stop us now. Nothing's going to stop us now. No laws. We're not breaking any, really. What are you doing? You're doing an ohm in a pyramid, right? They try to shut you up even at that. But you're not having that, and I understand that. And that's what I funk to. And if there's heroes out there, it's people like you. And I love you guys very much. Yeah, I don't know many people like you. What I'm seeing is people developing themselves into people like you, which is amazing. The best versions of ourselves, the one who will just say, hey, this has to be done and figure it out. Right? We say there's no books to this, although there's tons of books, but I read them and I smoke DMT and it doesn't help. Because you have to actually walk through the fire. It's great to know, oh, these things could be there. Ayahuasca, the goddess, she's there. Doesn't help. Doesn't help. Shout outs to Paula, by the way. She couldn't make it for tonight's show. She's partying big time with the family. So shout outs to my etherical translator. And before we start up everything even more, don't forget to sign up for TFR. Download the app. Get a subscription. You get everything that's ever been on TFR with the subscription. Everything. All the past shows. I love you guys too. I love you, Ra. If you like any of the music you hear, HEISTCLICK. And we still have Chris and Cherie's Egypt 2018 section up in the IamWeAreFearless.com. He has his own section there. It's about to go to the Beyond the Veil section, but we're still donating everything that comes until the end of this month to their trip from that section on the website. And if you like anything else from any of the other sections on the websites, the artists get 50% of everything that's there. Anything that you spend, they get 50%. So we're doing something to try to, everyone can eat off the plate. It's a pie that's never ending. There's a slice for everyone. There's a piece for everything, right? No, it's no big deal, right? I felt weird for a long time. I was like, when I got hurt on my job, I'm like, I'm going to start an eBay store. And then everyone on eBay, suddenly it's free shipping and they're charging $1 for the products. I'm like, how is this happening? Pigeonholed, 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 pigeonholed. No more. There's enough on the plate when you use your originality, when you use your imagination for the whole thing. You will work your way out of it. Why? Because you're a creator. This is what we do. It's what we came here to do. I wonder to myself, I was listening to the intro, right? And I want to send a shout out to the guy that originally made that, wanted me to rap on a beat with that. And the beat's good. The beat's really good. I still have it. I'm going to do it. From years ago. He said, I want you to take the entire volumes of my collections. I'm done. I'm out. He said, what do you mean you're out? He's like, I'm done doing all this because it doesn't mean anything anymore because it's pigeonholed again. And I took a few pieces and I chopped them up and I listened to the intro and now I hear people talk and they're like, you have to let your inner child out. You just have to. And I'm like, this dude was even more ahead of his time. That years ago he gave me this stuff. And then it was mine to slap together for Fearless and do whatever. This is before Fearless. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. And then I met the 7-year-old. And then I started listening to the music. And I said, oh, man. So this is how it goes. And the story is great, honestly. Right? I heard Ra's show before, a lot of beings in Puerto Rico being seen coming out of things. And you hear me talk about beings and you hear me, say these things. And I just want to go over this because it seems like yesterday I know a lot of people that happen to go under and have their ceremony. Right? The story's great. But there's beings, there's consciousness beings, like spirit beings. There's demons, there's reptilians, there's everything. It's everything, right? But you're hearing about it, and you're like, I don't know. Some of this is just way past my pay grade. And I always say, yeah, the Bings are great. The Bings are fun, but it's really a self-help thing to you. But honestly, this isn't easy. It's not easy. But I wonder to myself when I hear the 7-year-old let the inner child out. How many of you are listening to the story and becoming part of the story? Because it's just a story of mine that you're hearing about people and beings and things. And that's great and dandy, but my story may be fantastic. But so is yours. Your story is fantastic. Your story is the story that needs to be heard, to be seen by you. Your piece of the puzzle picture needs to be revealed for the greater all of the entire situation. Yes, exactly. Yes, I have become part of the story. There's a whole bunch of you that have. And I'm so proud of you. And yes, the universe rewards bravery. But let me explain. I had multiple people yesterday go in and have some issues. All right? You hear me talking about it. You'll hear someone else talk about it, or perhaps Chris or somebody. You'll hear Terrence McKenna say, 5 grams in a silent darkness, or, you ain't nothing, tear that ego away. You guys really got to know what you're in for to do this. Now, the benefits, hyper explosive. You realign with the real truth. You can't really pay for that, but you got to walk through that fire. Now, the story sounds great, and you want to be part of it. And then you jump in, and you perhaps eat 5 dried grams and sit on your couch. If you've never done that before, and I'm all for being your own shaman, be prepared. This is not a game. This is not a test. The reality is, this is hard. It's harder than anything I've needed to do. Let me tell you what. I used to sweat paperwork. It was the hardest thing in the world for me to do. There was nothing in this world I couldn't do. Paperwork was the absolute worst. Just the other day, I was sitting here sweating again over paperwork. And I'm thinking all the ayahuasca and all the mushrooms and all the DMT in the world, and I'm still pushing this battle. And I said, no more pushing. I'm done with pushing. Like my fear of sharks. I'm not afraid of them anymore. I don't want to be in the water with them, but I'm not afraid of them. I kind of think they're really cool, very fascinating. But be careful. When we say, you can't do anything but breathe, I don't know if you think in your head you're going to see cartoons and clowns and cake. Like, that comes with practice. You want beings? Are you sure? Is that what you want to see? And I'm not here to sway you one way or the other. I want everyone. It's for everyone, but not everyone should do it. Okay? If you jump like that, make sure you have your support team with you. Make sure the ones that aren't going to question it while you're under, because you're not going to be here. I don't know how many of you have been under any of the plant medicines, right? But have any of you experienced having your brain taken apart? One blocked cube at a time, like a Rubik's Cube, just separating, and you notice it's all the colors are not in the right places. Nothing's lined up properly. You literally don't know who you are. You become nothing. You have to die to get there. Die. I know that, like, these days, death has just become another thing you say, like stuff like love and death and whatever. Yeah, whatever. But you have to die. the true meaning of being reborn. They're not playing games. So in your head, when you say, I want to be in on this, I want to be part of this, you can't possibly think you're getting Care Bears right off the bat. I was so confident one time that ayahuasca understood me. It's my mother. She understands. Totally understands me. She gets me. I can't have a rough one today, Ma. I'm coming. Maybe perhaps today. And she has taken it easy on me in the past. And I'm grateful. But I'll go, I can't handle it today. It's just not today. There's just some love maybe and whatever. And I went through abduction scenario after abduction scenario for hours, to the point where I've never been scared like that on a long stretch of time, right? Like I've been frightened for a moment. Ooh, that was scary. Oh, look out, he jumped out of the closet. Holy, you scared me. Right? But not 4 hours straight. It's not like I'm being held down and tortured, although I'm witnessing every abduction event where they hold me down and torture me. It wasn't even torture. They were looking for things. It's not torture. It's torture being part of it. More I find out, and I tell you guys this sometimes, I think that we're them to some degree or another. So some of us that are getting tagged and experimented on, some of it's military, some of it's just trying to scare you. Others, you might be down with them. I had the kid down the street got abducted, and he's a couple blocks from here. And he was begging me for help. He's like, no one will listen to me. And he was a Guido. For those of you who don't know what a Guido is, he's highly Italian. Ayo, ayo, ay. But the look in his face was pure horror. Pure horror, right? He's like, please do something. So I'm like, all right. So during one of the meditation sessions, I go visit them. I know where his house is, but I, project over there, and they're just standing there. And they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'm here to help my buddy. I was shocked. I was like, I think you guys need to leave. They were like, mind your business. And I went into the whole thing. I can't mind my business, man. Everybody minds their business, and then we just have you guys taking people. How's that sound? So I'm not going to mind my business. And they were like, dude, he's one of us. And I'm like, you have no idea. What? And I looked over, and he was one of them. They're like, he contracted. He's us projecting in from the ship where we were keeping his body. And I'm going, what? Are you guys for real? Are you for real? I'm not sure. This can't be right. Because he's frightened. He's like, well, he doesn't know who he is. He's not supposed to. We just follow him through the reincarnation process. I go the forced reincarnation process. And they're like, it's not always forced. Sometimes it's contracted to be specifically what it is, and nobody will interfere because it'll step on someone else's toes that are bigger than them, perhaps. And I'm like, oh, so it's a game to everyone. And they're like, we want the genetic material. That's what we want. And it's anything further is none of your business, pretty much. I try to push my way in, take a look, better look. It was just a whole group of them. And the parents weren't them. Parents were just humans, like creators. Have no clue. It's interesting how this stuff happens. On a joking tip, I've had a few accidents where you think you slipped and you might have a baby or something. And during those moments, as a person that would want to do something like that, you'd want to be proud of that. Right. And it happened recently, and I was yelling around the house. I was like, the cat jumped up and bit me on my butt, and it just happened. And I freaked out, and I said, that's how they get in. You son of a, that's how they get in. You're having a good time, and then that happens, and you have no control over it, and you're like, how did that never, I don't even know where to go with this. That thing's not mine. And You're like, no matter what comes out of there, not having it. It's not my friend. It's not my buddy. And we were just making jokes at that point. Nothing happened. But I've watched them get in that way. They want your genetics. They'll get in if they want to. If you're awake enough, you can perhaps put up a buffering defense to that nonsense. I've had experiences where I found that sex was the vehicle, the locomotion, the train motor, almost like you're shoveling the coal into the fire, and chugga, 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 right? That literally happening within a bubble, like an egg-shaped bubble, and you can start to see. I mean, literally see. Me and Jimmy, we joke about this, and we laugh. Paul and I were having a good time doing our thing, and I looked up, and it was doing that. So I felt like I was in a train, but I was in control. I was controlling the train. We were both in the driver's seat, kind of, and it was moving along, chugga, 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 chugga. And I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And I could see the mechanics behind it, and I was freaking out from that. It's like really weird looking because you're not used to seeing it, but we've seen books where it's depicted that way, and can it really mean that? And I'm not sure. Where do we go with this? And chugga, 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 chugga. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. I'm hitting that bliss point. We're carrying it. We're making it last so that that moment that everybody tries to achieve was just expanding outward and staying. So it was a constant bliss, bliss, bliss. And I looked up, and there was a cave in front of me. It was all dark. And right, I'm like looking at Paula, perfect, angels and flowers and beautiful things. I look up, and just a dark. It's like a wall made of rock with a cave entrance in it. I'm like, well, I'm in a train, so maybe there's the subway. Like, I was just saying stupid things. And out popped a head of a reptile. And I looked at Paula, then looked back, and I freaked out. I had to stop. And I was like, whoa, it's right on top of me. And as I backed my head up, it was awkward. Right? I was like, whoa, that thing just almost literally, it didn't try to bite me. It looked right at me. The light sword came, and its head just fell. An arm grabbed it, pulled it out of the cave. Then the cave lit up. And I was like, what's going on? Because now you broke my concentration now. Now what's happening? And they were like, oh, listen, so you guys are traveling in the Holy Rocket right now, right? I'm like, whoa, whatever. And they're like, yeah, you guys are kind of going to unveil or reveal these dark places within you. But because you're not coming from a dark place, haha, pun intended, you can clear these areas out during those moments. So I'm like, what? So you're telling me you can make love to someone, and it could be the most intense thing ever, and while you're doing that, you can battle reptilians? Like, what's that all about? They're like, no, it's you. You're not battling reptilians. You're battling the stuff in you. You're cleaning it out so you can have more of that blissful experience, and you're going to fill those energy centers with light. Right? The hole in the wall is in the allegory to what's the stuff that's stuffed inside of you. Like, what are you doing that you have that there and that it's popping up during this moment? And I'm like, oh. And I thought the whole time I'm just seeing stuff. They're like, no, that's your stuff. And I go, well, I do feel much better. Like when that thing was removed, it felt like, you ever go into a clean train station compared to a dirty one? You know, it's like, oh, okay, everything's running smoothly, everything's on time, everything. It became something like that. And I didn't really know what to compare it to or how to compare it, but that's the way it came out. And I noticed that multiple others have had experiences like that. So you can achieve, by the way, all the experiences I talk about through all different things already associated with life and nature itself. Right? So you can have the blissful moments. You can have the third eye or pineal gland open to where you feel like you're buzzing and having that experience. You can take the sex train, right? You could be like, listen, you and I love each other. We're going to try to do this. And then you just do it, right? You could meditate it out. There's a lot of ways. You could sit in nature and just kind of hang out, and then people will claim, something happened while I was sitting there. I don't really know quite what that is. One of the things I noticed is that people in my meditation group they don't drink ayahuasca, a bunch of them. They've never done psychedelics. They're moms and dads and just people. Some of them have taken the experience and they're like, whoa, that's pretty intense. And others are just breaking through. I think Julie's in the room. But one of my friends, Julie, she had an experience. She was able to visually see the being. I know everybody wants to hear about beings. I love the beings too. But I work towards this because of the fear I heard in the voices over the last few days from when they experienced something that's not of this world and unearthly. So it's pretty intense. It's actually very intense. And you have to be careful. And you have to be careful what kind of being it is and who you're bringing into the room and what you're attracting. But just seeing them is just... You get a 1-second visual, bling, and you're like, oh, you're there? It's not like you're imagining it in your head. You see it in your head, like someone put it there. You're like, wait, what? And I have this weird habit of blinking out, like, did that just happen? And it ruins everything. It's like, yo, just focus. Stop shaking your head. Just make it all go away. No, nothing's going away. You're getting a glimpse. This is a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, see, it was wild because it's there. You're just breaking through layers and you don't need all the other junk. You could literally meditate this stuff out, which is why I don't give the meditators a hard time, the ones that sit on the mountain for 30 years. I don't give you a hard time. You can do that. It's okay. Eat healthy. Love yourself. Love others. Pet your cat. Hug someone. Live good. Have fun. Have lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Laugh, and don't hurt no one. You're on that path. Wouldn't be surprised when people say they met Buddha. Right? They see the image of Buddha.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive.
Creatively ahead of my time, perhaps. I think a bunch of us are. That was Come Alive by Frank Castle. Find that everywhere. Just check it out. I only have 2 solo songs under Frank Castle, so beware the other guy. So, creativity is on the loose. It is out there waiting to be sucked into the mind's portal and used alongside the imagination to create from the creator itself, which is you. Manifestations have been happening so much quicker. Once again, we're back to the intro of the show. Things are starting to happen faster. Much more faster. That's right. Aim, dome. For those that don't know, those are mantras that we do. Okay, so if you would like to join the meditations or the information flow and be part of what we do, and there's over 200 of us now, and we host over 30 every single evening for the meditations. It's in the Facebook groups, FearLess TFR. Okay? And answer the question. I'll let you in. Take a look around. Participate a little bit. So we talked about this a while back. Jimmy went under. Shaman Jimmy, right? Anybody wants to talk to him? He's in the group. He went under and he was practicing his manifestation. Somehow, the idea of poop got in his mind. Right? Poop container. Then manifested poop everywhere. And I know that's funny, but then they were like, yo, clean up your mess. So he's like, why does that happen? It's like, well, you have to be careful. Like you just went down. It's not that you were thinking about poop. It's just that you went down a rabbit hole, right? You're just like, oh, look at that. Aha, funny. And then it just amplified so many times out. You have to be careful. This is where the thought form entities come from. Yeah, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the thought form entities, right? There's the boogeyman in my closet. Then there'll be a boogeyman in your closet, right? We manifest these things, these fears. There's something going on in the program that makes you repeatedly just repeat the thought over and over and have it running like a program, like in the background of your mind all day and all night. Fear, 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 fear. Well, in the age of manifestation, fear is the no-no. It is the big no-no. So we cannot let fear overtake us in such a time where the transformation is going to occur over time, a small period of time, a very quick period of time. And this goes back to when are you joining the story? Do you meditate? I mean, could you mentally fight off an attachment? Can you clear parasites out of you with a wave of your hand? The things shaman do, and this is how we start, right? I'm waving my hand in the air, like I'm waving hello, slowly, and all of a sudden I can see through it. These are side effects of being the creator and coming back online. Do you not want to be part of this? Do you not want to heal yourself? Do you not want to manifest not the boogeyman, but the wealthy, abundant, beautiful creator being? Filled with love and bliss and joy, compassion. I made a damn good cup of coffee. Because that's where I'm headed. It's the place where the best version of me can be untethered from the BS and the distractions and the annoyances of things that don't matter. Just doesn't matter. If I can work on this part of me, the more I get part of me back, the better it'll shine outwardly, externally to you, to around me, basically, not even to you. It's just around me, right? And as you do that, it also happens as well. And then things that no longer suit you and that you no longer need just seem to fall away. Okay, so I want to read this to you. I don't know what book this is from. Someone sent this to me a while ago. The world is not in chaos. We are. The world's apparent chaos is only a reflection of our own inner turmoil. If the world reflects a lack of good sense, it's because each one of us reflects the same thing. If the world acts as if it doesn't know what's going on, it's because each one of us acts the same. If the world is violent and greedy and heartless and inhumane and often just plain stupid, it is because you and I are that way. So if the world's going to be changed, we must first change our lives. Unfortunately, we have been taught to think that way. We are in out there society, accustomed to thinking in terms of them against us. We want to fix the world so that we can remain the same. And for an out there society, coming inside is a problem. But now is the time to learn how. Now is the time to change, because unless we do, the chaos will remain. And we just can't afford this kind of chaos much longer. We're simply running out of time. I wonder if that resonates with you as much as it resonates with me. I really wonder, because why are you here? What is it that you do? What is it that you want to do? I have all this paperwork in front of me, all these things I want to talk about. And I can't get it out of my head about joining the story, becoming part of it. You don't have to be the beings and the ETs and the raptor beings and the reptilian beings. You don't need to be part of any of that. You can be the being. You are the important one. The important one is you leveling up. Okay? It's not Jesus. It's not Yahweh. It's not Shiva. It's not Kali. It's not any of them, but it's all of them. Or just in you. It's all part of you. So none of that matters. I'm one for saying, hey, man, the reptilian walks in your door, you're in a lot of trouble. You don't want that. Right? None of us really, really want that. So let's build the place where they can't be. You just can't come here physically. I mean, you may be able to walk up to the door and ring the doorbell or kick in the whatever, right? So, but you won't want to come here because we vibrate so high that you can't even see us. You can't see us. What's wrong with you? Didn't you know you try to stick the creator in a genie bottle, and from the genie bottle, you got a little window in there, and then from that window, I could see 3% of what's going on. 3%. 3%, but I'm the creator of all. No, I'm not God. I'm source in a body. I represent everything. But I'm human right now in this experience. So what do you want? What do you want to do? Do you want the 9 to 5 or whatever your job is? Huh? Do you want the $6 an hour and then you want to come home and cry about it? Do you want to be a victim for the rest of your life? Now, don't get me wrong. There are circumstances where there are victims because this is a duality. So that's the way it is. But I'm speaking to those that are in the ability to say, hey, I want to take control of my life. I don't want that. I don't want that on the planet. I want that wiped away. It's like, well, how are you going to do that? It's like, well, I'm going to go run over there and help. And it's like, maybe that's not the best way because you're late for work every day. You're just late all the time. As a matter of fact, you're overweight, you're late, you can't breathe, you smoke, you can't hold a conversation. What's going on here? Well, I'll make the change. All right. Well, then start from that thought. Breathe. Meditate. Ayahuasca if necessary. Experience. If you talk too much, something like I do, maybe shut your mouth. Maybe observe. If you don't talk enough, maybe find your pressure point and explode and let it out. Teach somebody something that you wouldn't normally teach. My brother was talking to me today about someone. I cannot say names about. So he was, hey, why do you like that group? Well, because everybody likes them. That's the end thing to do. That's what everybody likes. That's, He's like, well, y'all look alike. So what kind of, is this what you think is music? Yeah, it's what we listen to. That's great. It's the best. Your music sucks, though. And he's like, well, listen to one of my songs. I'll listen to one of your songs. So he used Wu-Tang. This person's face, and she's very young, like 15, fell off. This music sucks. We don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, fine. Then he listened to a song from one of these new rap characters. And he says, tell me what you like about Your favorite song. It's good, I guess. Do you like the lyrics? No, I'm not even really listening to the lyrics. It's the hook. Is it an anthem hook? Is it, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We could all get into it and sing. No, not really. Yeah, it's good. It's all right. It's all right. It's cool. What about the beat? Oh, yeah, the beat's cool. The beat's cool. Oh, so you like the beat? Oh, yeah, yeah, the beat's, I guess so. Yeah, sure. He goes, do you know if you asked me that question about my song? You play Triumph from Wu-Tang. Amazing song. He's like, ask me what I like about it. And she goes, no. Why not? Because I don't want to hear about your stupid group. He goes, well, I love each individual character. I like this part of the song where he says this. I like this part of the song. This is this. The ideals of this, 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 and this. I love the beat. I love it when it drops like this. I love it when this, and then the hook. And he went into this whole thing. And he goes, where's yours? She didn't have one and thought he was weird. She said, you're weird like like that girl over there. See how she's not dressed like us? He goes, yeah, she's got a Nirvana shirt on. What's the big deal? Yeah, well, she listens to that garbage. It's all right, but whatever. Well, she seems to be the only one that's actually sticking out of the crowd and seems very awesome. Like if there's a group of you hanging out and I was going to walk over to one and talk to them, it'd be the one that doesn't look like every single one else. Did you know that? Well, what do you mean? Well, maybe you should be like her, a little more like her. Well, I don't want to be her. I got to dress in rock outfits. No. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to dress in rock outfits. You don't have to listen to rock music. Be original. Be more like you. Don't worry about what she thinks and she thinks and she thinks. Are you happy? Well, no, what would they think? Who cares? This is what's happening to our society. I'm sorry for just getting into that, but holy crap. If you don't know and your attention span's not long enough, we have to fix this place. That should be enough for you to go, man, I got to get my act together. I got to get my act together because I'm kind of like that in some ways. Man, it's all right. Yeah. We got a friend called Peanut Butter Mouth, right? Peanut Butter Cat. He sounds like he's got peanut butter in his mouth when he talks, right? But he's always got something to say. I'm like, yeah, but did you like that? Did you like it? Was it good? Nah. Like, hey, pull the word out of your mouth. Yes or no? Become a man. Stand up. Say what you got to say. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is you're going to say. Just say something. And no, don't pass it off. Like, meh. No, know what meh means. What are you saying? But this is the people we have around us. Not just NPCs. We have creators stuck in programs that are basically at this level. And they expect society to be run at this level, which means you can't expect nothing from them. Nothing can you expect from them. Perhaps there's something they do that's good, but you want to make that change, you make the change. Don't tell me to make the change. And don't look at the TV and say, everyone needs to make the change. You need to make the change. It's you. No, it's you. Each and every one of us has to do that. We don't get a choice in this, right? All right, you do get the choice, but really, it's like saying, would you want to rot or do you want to expand and be beautiful? Because that's the road you're taking. Do you want to be connected to each other? Do you want those connections to shine and you want them to come forward and, you want to have a great spiritual backing behind you, have a relationship with your higher self? Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of BS to me. And it's all because Trump runs this damn nation. And I'm like, oh, that's where your head is. You want to talk about that stuff. So you don't want any of this. Well, you don't know it. But you don't know. I didn't know. But I'm not going to push it on you. Well, then what do? I think I'll just change. I think I'll become the shining example. Not to show off. Not to be that guy. Just to be more me. And that's it. What can I do today? 10% a week. 10% a day. Do something a little more productive or less distracting, less harmful to your body. Take in one less product that has chemicals in it. You know, stop praying externally and say mantras. Right? People are confusing now. I've reached the point where people are saying to me, they're worried about beings like Kali, but not worried about Shiva, not worried about Jesus, not worried about Allah or whatever. I'm like, hey, y'all know it's energy, right? It's energy. The being comes from the energy. Like a guy that greets you at the door. Know the difference. I still see people that have like the Eye of Horus inside of the triangle, and they're like, true enlightenment. And I'm like, you do know that's the AI's eye, right? Like, that's what that is. That's the eye in the capstone watching you. You don't know what you're talking about. Interesting. Something happened to me today. I was sitting out in the sun for hours, and I was doing my mantras. I did a whole bunch in a row. I had music on all day. I closed my eyes, and I saw that eye that people would say, that is the eye of Ra in the sun. I have it on my arm, so I know what it looks like. I'm one of them. I look and I see it, and I'm like, it's happening, isn't it? Like I had my eyes closed, and you can see the circle in the sun. When you stare at the sun, when your eyes are closed, there's that outline, and the eye came right out. That's what it looks like. You can do that. You can connect to the different energies. Why? Because you're the creator. Why are you still able to do that? Well, you're a flesh bag with electricity in you. You're told to ground to earth, right? If I ground, then what does that mean? Well, it means you're grounded, right? So what happens when you're a wire that's grounded? You don't pop. You don't send something electrical feedback through the line. You don't set it on fire. So they're not teaching you any of this. Nobody's teaching this in the mainstream. So you ground yourself because you're surrounded by energy that you can't see because you're only 3% aware. We are only 3% aware. I'm no different than anyone. We each just have our own little gift. Mine is to see up and down. And I've grabbed my purpose by the throat, and I'm screaming, you can see me now, can't you? And it's like, let's do this, man. Let's do this. I'm over the hump. I'm not, it's still difficult at times, a lot of times. It's rough. It's not easy. It's the hard path. But I feel better all the time. Okay? There's moments where I don't. And then there's moments where I really do. And I'm like, you know what? Let me understand this. I'm joy right now, or I'm pain. I'm suffering. Why? Why do you want that? Why? Like, okay, it's been 2 weeks. What's going on? It's been 2 years. Okay, what's going on? It's been 10 years. What's going on? What is that? You're running the pain program, the victim program? You got to release that stuff. It's like an anchor. Think if you had an anchor on your heart and attached to your face, and it's just pulling you to the floor. And now get up and go to work. It's raining out. Drive your car. But I can't. I have this anchor attached to my face, and I have one on my butt, and one on my foot, and one on my neck. Yep, go to work. If you're constantly saying, I hate this, and I hate that, and I hate this, and I hate that, and then it doesn't work, perhaps you're doing it wrong. Naturally, the situation could suck no matter how you look at it, but you don't have to suck. You can change the mind frame. You can change the mindset. This is why Paula throws love at everyone. Hey, love, thanks, love, hey, love. Everyone gets distorted and confused. All the ones that aren't on the love frequency or the truth frequency or the frequency where we're supposed to be vibrating at. Think of how many people just look sick. How many people do you know in your house that are just, it was one thing when we were kids, we're looking at them and we're like, wow, I guess this is life. And now we're looking at it. Like as a shaman, I knew I was sick. I didn't know I was a shaman. I can't even regard myself as a shaman. I'm the all. It's just one of the many things I do, right? And I'm like, I'm sick, I'm hurt, I need help. I don't want to be a victim anymore. I'm tired of whatever that comes from. I can't do it no more, man. I'm done. Why are you done? I'm not living that program anymore. And I went and I broke through. And I was like, whoa, that was so scary. That sucks so bad. Oh my God. You want to do it again? Yes, because it's better than this. What, being out there is better than this? No, being fixed is better. Being better than every single person that's sick. And I'm not trying to be better than you. I'm trying to heal myself so I could grab another one of you and be like, yo, bro, check this out. Because there's a whole bunch of you sprinkled out there. Whole bunch. Millions. Wait for the big reveal. Everyone wants to know, why is everybody always a king and a queen when they get their cards read and everything? Well, because I don't want to use the word gods, lowercase g's, but you got source, creator, capital C. We're not playing with this game no more. None of us are playing. What Chris and Cherie did, they had to lose all fear and move on, move into the position. I have lost my fear and I'm moving on. I'm becoming the hero in my story. Leaders, where are you? Time is now. Now is when you stand up. And it may seem like a war to you, but don't choose the war hammer. Don't. Be productive. Be creative. Anyone could grab the hammer and slam it on the floor. Just remember, you wreck everything when you do that. Your surroundings, the things that you don't see, that you're not aware of, everything takes a beat down. But if you come for the great change, for the love, for the others, to help everything, you become the idea. And that is something they could never kill or take away. There's been one thing that I go through here all the time. And I feel great about it now. You sent one. Yeah, worked for a little bit. Sent him back. His arms in a sling. You sent another. This time it was a reptilian. The green ones, you're out. Get out of here. Oh, man, what did Frank do to him? Then you sent the grays. The little ones, they tagged me. They got me. Whatever. Then you sent the big one into my house with the snake. You killed my cat. You took my best friend from me. You got thrown out on your ass. Then you sent the white reptilian on my lawn last summer. He got taken away. Then you sent one last week, and he tore at my face for an hour. Guess where he wound up? So there's one thing that I can tell you for sure. No matter what they've done to us in the past, or whichever way you think they hold us down and suppress the creator within you, we are still here. We are still here. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop this. So you might as well enjoy it. Nothing like getting back to superpowered individuals that are hyper creative and love everything in the universe, right? And then bring that to the table. Bring something to the table.